Hello. Welcome to the Film Pittsburgh Fall Festival Q&A with Pablo Cruz. He is the writer, star, and producer of our film called The Ship. Pablo, I'm so excited to talk to you today. The film
I'm
was so
really
hard.
excited to talk to you also. Thank you very
Oh,
much, Catherine. You and everyone in the team from the festival has been very warm with us, and we appreciate a lot that you like our movie. And
loved
we're
it.
very honored to be here. Thank you.
Oh, well, Pablo, you did an amazing job um, acting in this film with a kid that was so incredible. I want to ask you a little bit about how you came to write this story. Would you share that with our audience?
Of course. Me and my wife, Carla, we were traveling to Oaxaca, which is another state in Mexico, and we were invited actually through Facebook from a guy that we didn't know. He paid our plane tickets. He paid for the hotel, and he told us he was representing a government program called First I Read, Then I Exist, and he was appointed by the Oaxacan government to organize this program that traveled all around the country to promote books and reading for little kids. So when I went to talk with these kids, we went to a high school, and we visited many schools in a couple of days. And afterwards, he was like, I've been watching your work for some projects now, and I like it. And I told the government that we could bring some personalities, including yourself, and they agreed. And here you are, and I appreciate you're helping us with this. And I said, like, and what do you do again? And then we went to have lunch, the three of us, and he told us that he had a radio show that first started with an intent to make it as a TV show for kids in Oaxaca, but he couldn't make it. It was too expensive. He was having a lot of trouble with his life, with his family, and a lot of complicated things were happening to him back then. And and he said, like, the radio show was the only thing stopping me from killing myself, or maybe just going into a really deep depression. So one day, a little kid called the radio show and said, I have a little dream and a wish, and I think you can make it happen, because your radio show is called The Ship, and you have a ship, and I want to travel in a ship and go to the ocean,
Oh,
or to an island, to an abandoned island in the middle of nowhere, and I want to visit it with my mom and have great adventures and blah blah blah. And so when he told me this story, and it was really moving, my wife and I, in the middle of lunch, started crying, and I said, like, you know what? I was starting to write a movie, like I started a couple of months ago, months before we met. Uh, and I said, I was writing a movie right now, and I think it's not interesting at all compared to what you're saying to me. And I think that's more moving, it's more inspiring. And would you let me write a story about it? And he told me, like, I don't do these things because of the money, or because of trying to get more attention. I want to use the radio show to help more people of our community, which is really needed over
mm,
there. Well, I think everywhere, everywhere in the world, but
right.
this is Oaxaca is one of those poor states in Mexico.
Hmm.
So so I wrote it in about maybe 18 months, like 1 year and a half. And I sent it to him, maybe 2 years. I sent it to him, and we became close friends.
Sure.
He came to Mexico City to visit us, and we went to Oaxaca to visit him often. And after that, there was a moment when we just stopped talking about the movie. The process was being, so slow, and I didn't want to be in front of him, like to appear to him like I was like I was maybe bluffing, or that I was saying that I wanted to make a movie about a little chapter of his life that was really inspiring. And I knew it was going to take a lot of years. And 2 years later, I called him, and I have a story. Would you read it? He read it, and he called me crying and said, I wish my real life would have been this way. And so the thing we did is we knew we wanted to. I knew I wanted to, and then the director that came to the team later. I'll get to that in a moment. And I was sure that I wanted to make a movie to make people feel good. And this story made me feel good, made Carla, my wife, feel very good also. And that's the story we wanted to tell. The real life of this character was full of complicated things that were very, very sad, and very and some things he actually asked me not to put in the movie. So when he was coming to Mexico, when I was going to Oaxaca, I was interviewing him,
Right.
and I was recording all our interviews, and I was recording all the answers he gave to me about his childhood, about
Wow.
the way he constructed, he built the radio show, the people around him, his family, his day-to-day routines, whatever. And so I started writing it with, of course, including some of my own frustrations and
Yeah.
my own wishes and my own emotions there.
The
Uh,
the boss in the radio show, that's fictitious.
that's
Yeah.
fictitious. Yes,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
that's fictitious.
Did you
And
write this always knowing that were you writing it as a vehicle for yourself to act in?
yes, of course,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. This came also from a period of time where I had many offers of characters, of roles, to projects that I didn't really like,
Mhm.
or with sometimes with directors or writers that I didn't really quite admire, and that got a little frustrating. Um, so I started doing, writing my own things, and this came like a very, very bright light saying,
Oh, yes.
go towards this, don't be afraid to do your own movie. And I had been in probably 7 or 8 movies as an actor, back then when I started the script. And I started taking a lot of courses, lessons, webinars, reading a lot of books on screenwriting. And yeah, after 2 years, I showed it to him. He liked it, and he said, go ahead, do it. And probably 2 years more passed before I had a studio or a production company interested in the project. They kind of helped me to restruct to structure the business model of the movie.
Mhm.
And then that studio, that production company, closed. So I
Oh,
had to, yeah, like a
ugh.
couple of months later, they got in an international settlement for the rights of a big Scorsese movie.
Ugh.
So yeah, so they said, we're frozen right now. And so I said, like, okay, so I have a blessing from someone that really knows how to make movies. which I didn't know at the time, from the part of behind the camera. And I have his blessing, so I'm gonna do it all on my own. So I started first knocking on doors of the people, investors who could, help me with little amounts of money all across
Sure.
the movie. And then after that, I got the movie. I got the money for the movie, and then I got the team that really could help me,
Right.
make this come true. And I was very fortunate because a friend of mine said, you should go to Batan Silva. I've heard of him. I heard of him a lot before this, as a first AD, because he worked with James Cameron in Titanic, and it was a whole big deal here in Mexico.
But
And
you had not worked with him to that point.
I had not worked with him,
Yeah.
and then he made like three movies as a first AD, also with Terrence Malick.
Wow.
And yeah, he's been around for a long time. And I went to him, and like, we have this friend in common who told us that we should meet, and this is my story. This is what I want to do. And and I had talked with a lot of with another two directors before him in a couple of months when I was, uh, um, assembling the team. And the first thing that the first director told me is that he wasn't in a place to to tell a story about a kid with cancer. And then and I told him, like, I don't want to tell the I mean, there's a very very sad part of every cancer patient, as probably you should know, you must know. But there's also a lot of happiness in the world, and we tend to forget that. And a lot of good things that good people are doing for for many people. And it's sometimes hard for us to see those things, especially how the world presents itself to us right now.
One of the
And
things that is so amazing to me about the film is what you just referenced, and that I am a cancer survivor, as you know, when we talked briefly before this interview. And I think that one of the things that was so amazing to me is that there was so much. There were so many other colors to this kid besides the fact that he had cancer. And so I was, it's just an uplifting, warm hearted story. And I think sometimes when people read a description and see, like, oh, there's cancer, to me, um, it was so incredibly enjoyable, the film. And I am grateful that I didn't let that stop me from watching it.
I'm
I
I'm,
have
I'm
to,
grateful too.
yeah, I have to ask you about the casting, because that kid, man, had he had experience before? Because he was excellent,
Yeah,
really good.
the director, when the director came in, like I was saying, he asked me two things. Like, the first one said, I'm not there, and he told me some things about the third act structure. And then the second one, another very very talented director, Mariana, she told me, like, I see some things about the first act that might be troubling, blah blah blah. And then when I met Batan Silva, the director who finally directed, he said, I have two questions for you. We saw each other at a restaurant at 7 p.m. in Mexico City. And he said, I have two questions for you. The first one is, I'm really interested to know, on you telling me exactly why do you want to tell this particular story. And second of all, what are you drinking? So so it was, we ordered a bottle of mezcal. And
Oh,
after the bottle of mezcal at 1:30 p.m., the waiters kicked us out from the restaurant, like, this is closed right now, please leave. And uh, and after that I said, like, this guy really, I mean, he had the script for probably 6 hours before this, and he already knew more about the story than myself.
Wow.
And he was very, very, very passionate about saying, whatever you want to do, whatever ulterior motives you have with this movie, about your career, about the production, about whatever, this is a story that has to be told with a lot of heart, and that's the only important thing for me. And I said, okay, let's
Yeah,
let's close this
exactly.
deal. So I hired this actress friend of mine who also has workshop for acting kids, and she found him. She found Santiago, and she found three kids who were absolutely amazing, the three of them, and we started playing with them. It was only a matter of just just be playing with them. Uh, we went to her workshop with the director. He just took out his cell phone, started uh, taping them, and at the end he was like, for me, there's no other kid, like, this has to be the kid. He
Oh,
feels really comfortable. He knows how to breathe. He's sensible, of course. He's really sensitive. And last, he knows how to take orders. So, like if we're playing, like when we were playing, he was like, can you tell me something about the coolest gift you've gotten in Christmas, during Christmas? And he was like, yeah, this new Spider-Man game that's like this, blah 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 blah. And he was comfortable with answering with a cell phone in front of his face,
wow.
and the other two kids were, of course, as lovely and as good kids and as sensible as he was, but they were a little more distracted by other things. So yeah, this guy came to save the movie. Santiago Beltran is his name. Is a kid that I've been in contact with since we started with the movie, and afterwards, after making it. His parents are lovely, and I don't know. He was really integrated all the way as a family with all of us during the movie, and the fact that he was comfortable made us all very,
Oh,
very, very, very calm. I mean, when you
yes.
see an uncomfortable kid, you know that things are not going to go your way.
Mhm,
This guy was like even more comfortable than me, so I learned a lot from him, and
mhm.
during the scenes, and I'm really happy with the
Right.
final product.
He had the maturity to understand how to play a cancer patient at such a young age.
Exactly,
To be able to still be a kid and still have kid-like energy,
exactly.
and then also
And we
have
talked
this
to him
hinge
a
of,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, we talked to him a lot, especially Paloma, the acting coach, which plays her mother, his mother.
Oh,
Yeah, his mother. Sorry. Yeah. So his
okay.
mother in the movie is the
Yes.
acting coach,
Gotcha.
and
Fantastic.
she talked to him a lot about kids with cancer.
Yeah.
He She talked to him about, you know uh, remember that when you're sick, it's not something that's entirely up to you. You might feel desperate, you might feel guilty, you might
Mm,
feel rage. But it's not anyone's fault. It's definitely not your fault. It's definitely not your family's fault. You have to be empathetic.
yeah.
You have to think, like, what if my mom could if my mom got sick, it wasn't her fault. It's not going to be my fault. She's not going to get mad at me. So you have to manage, you have to be administrating all those emotions inside of you to be able to help us tell the story of this kid that might get angry, might get really happy, might be sometimes a pain in the butt, like, like any other kid.
Right. Yep.
The thing is, this is not a story about cancer. This is a story
Right.
about two people um, having virtues that the other one hasn't, and having the ability to share to share them with one another, to cope with the difficult things of life, and to just go ahead and be happy.
Yeah. Pablo, we only have a few more minutes left. Can you please share with our audience what you're working on now?
Yes, of course.
Because it sounds like we might be able to tune in.
I'm really excited. I'm writing a movie. That's why I'm moving from Mexico City to Merida, which is the southeast of the country, near Cancun. There's a very big parts of jungle over there, and I'm writing a story about about a character that has to go through many things inside the Mexican jungle, and how magical things happen to him all the way, and it's very much like the ship. It has a lot of heart. The movie is not it's not there yet. The script is not there yet. I'm still working on it. And also, on the second season of Luis Miguel, which is the Netflix series, I think one of the most viewed of Netflix content. They said the first season had 60 million viewers. So yeah, that's a lot
Are we able to watch
throughout the
that
world.
in the
Huh?
United States? We're able to watch that in the United
Yes,
States?
yes, yes.
Say
You're
the
able
name
to
again.
watch it. Luis Miguel, Luis Miguel, la serie,
Okay,
Luis Miguel, the series.
fantastic.
It's about this very famous singer, Luis Miguel, a Mexican singer, and I played a very important character throughout the second season and at the beginning of the third. So yeah,
Very
so
good.
you have to be
We'll
ready.
tune in.
Exactly.
Pablo, thank you so much for being with me today
Thank you,
and for
Catherine.
your film. And we're excited to share it with our audience. Thank you to our Film Pittsburgh audience. Thank you for buying tickets and for tuning in. And we'll see you next time.
Catherine, you're very kind, and thank you very much to everyone watching. Love you.